Here in my hands are two of the most exciting phones of 2025, the iPhone 17 Pro Max in Cosmic Orange with the tech woven case and the iPhone Air. Now I'll be doing a separate video on the Air, but just to alleviate some concerns in terms of durability. When we were at Apple Park, we were in a meeting and they showed us a bend test with this. And what they did is they put over 60 kgs of pressure, around 120 pounds thereabouts. And what we saw was the phone actually bending. And then when they released, it flattened right out. The glass didn't crack, the frame was intact. It was like nothing happened to the phone. So if you're concerned about the durability of the Air because it's 5.6 millimeters thin, do not be. We'll talk about the performance, battery life, all that in a second video, but let's focus on the Pro Max right now because this is Apple's most exciting phone when it comes to camera systems, performance that we've ever seen to date. And yes, the design may not be to your liking, but let's talk about the performance. Let's get down to it. So let's talk about the Pro Max real quick. We're not gonna go through all the specs because you already know all those, but let's top line stuff here. A19Pro Chipset, Apple's most powerful chipset to date. You've got 3 cameras on this, 48 megapixels all around for the telephoto wide angle and the standard lens. Larger sensors as well with this. You've got a vapor chamber inside to dissipate the heating a bit more because obviously this is a very powerful phone which you can use as a professional filmmaker's tool. And even if you want to game or do stuff like that, there's a lot of heat that this phone will generate. That's why they moved to aluminum on this. But that vapor chamber, we saw it in action, definitely does work to push the heat throughout the phone so it doesn't get any sort of hot spots or cause any sort of degradation in performance. The display on this is absolutely beautiful. It is anti-reflective. The colors are vibrant on this. It is gorgeous. I mean, this is Apple's best display to date. And the anti-reflective aspect of it, it's not fully anti-reflective, but it's much more so than the previous version. So even outdoors when I'm using it, I definitely can see my content a lot easier. In terms of colors, of course, we've got the Cosmic Orange, took the case off so you can see it in action. We've got the blue and we've got the silver. Now the blue, I have it in the Pro, is a really nice blue. It actually goes with my shirt much better than this, but I thought this would pop off a little bit more. The blue is really nice. The silver is also nice, but this ceramic shield backing on this, by the way, this is the new ceramic shield in the front and the back, 3 times more durable, they're saying, in terms of scratches and, impact resistance and all that kind of stuff. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm gonna take Apple's word for it because I don't wanna drop this thing. Nonetheless, so far, I haven't had any scratches on the glass. I've been putting it in my pocket, which is really good because on my previous iPhones, you put it into your pocket a few times, you take it out, you're like, where did I get those scratches? The display, we're good, we're golden on that. But moving to the back of this real quick here, it is an all aluminum chassis on this. They had to redesign for the heat and the performance of it. Some people may want that titanium. That's where the iPhone Air will still have that titanium. It feels really good in the hands. Maybe you're concerned, you saw some of the images online or some of the videos, you're going, it doesn't look that premium. Once you get it into your hands, it's a very nice feeling phone. I have no qualms with this. As a matter of fact, I could probably rock this without a case, but because it's a review unit, I want to protect it. So I have the tech woven case, by the way, which is a much better case than the previous woven material. That one didn't last so long. Apple's saying this is going to last a bit longer, so I'll take them at their word for it. But really for me, as someone who does a lot of photography on this channel, it is about the cameras. And to talk about the cameras, we have to talk about the camera that I think most people use most of the time, which is on all the iPhones now, 17, Air, Pro, and Pro Max. That is the 24 megapixel square sensor center stage camera. We have not seen technology like this out of any smartphone, okay? One thing you can say about Apple, when it comes to their front-facing cameras, they're some of the best out there. So we're always doing TikTok or Reels or Stories, and we're always using our front-facing camera. Even if we're at a restaurant or a group photo, we're always using it. Now with this square sensor, you have the ability to actually go in landscape or in portrait mode. And it's using the sensor, basically just crops. So it's like open gate, so to speak, if you understand those terminologies, effectively making it an 18 megapixel image. So one of the benefits of this, of course, and then also with the center stage technology, it obviously is going to keep you in the center. And then as some more people move in, it can zoom in and zoom out. Now you can set it to go automatic or you can do it manual, but you have that option now, which makes it so much more versatile in group shots or everything else. But with the Pro and Pro Max, it takes it a step up because that's one thing for a photo. Let's talk video. You can record 4K 60 with the front-facing camera. However, with this phone and the Pro, you can even go one step further. You can shoot in ProRes Raw. Now, of course, when you're doing ProRes Raw at 4K 60, you need an external drive to it. But at 4K 25, 4K 30, you don't need it. and I can shoot in ProRes log with the front-facing camera. In landscape, I could shoot a YouTube video that way. Anyway, here's a quick sample of what it looks like. How crazy is this? I can shoot ProRes log internally, 4K 25p with the front-facing camera with this whole center stage. Look at this. I'm in landscape and I can actually do this. This is absolutely amazing. I've not seen a front-facing camera that does this kind of power at all. Even the iPhone Air that I have with me here does not do in log or ProRes log at all. So again, that's gonna be the benefit of the Pro cameras. But what I wanna do is I'm actually gonna jog a little bit. Let's see how good the stabilization is as I'm running around, because Apple's touting that this is much better stabilization. So I'm gonna try this as I'm running around and see how this goes. Friggin' impressive. I have never seen a front-facing camera on a smartphone do this. And that's gonna change the game for content creators out there. Obviously, a lot of us do still shoot in portrait mode or 16:9 or 9:16, what have you. But now the fact that I can actually shoot in a 16:9 landscape aspect ratio is unbelievable in ProRes log. What about the rear cameras? Let's talk about that. There's some good things and some things I wish were improved. So let's talk about the three cameras in the back. You have an ultra-wide at 48 megapixel sensor, you have a standard 48 megapixel sensor, and you have a telephoto at 48 megapixel. Now, when you're shooting in a Pro Raw, you can get 48 megapixels. When you're shooting in JPEG, the max is gonna be 24 megapixels. Now, the way the camera system works is obviously there's a nice continuity between the ultra-wide to the telephoto. Colors look relatively the same. I mean, there's a nice fluidity that Apple's done a great job with in terms of their cameras. When it comes to the photography side of it, I was very excited to have this 4x optical zoom, which is effectively around 100 millimeters thereabouts. And that's gonna be great for portraiture. And that works really well, especially in brighter daylight where we're at right now. The one thing I will talk about, and this is, I would say, room for improvement, or maybe there'll be a third-party app that will take advantage of this. If you're using it in bright daylight, it's fine. If you're gonna be using it in lower light situations or in an indoor area where the lighting isn't as optimal, I do find that the shutter speed with that 100 millimeter telephoto lens isn't as fast as it should be. So sometimes if the subject isn't perfectly still, you're gonna get a little bit of motion blur. I have given feedback on this, but I'm guessing right now, obviously this is a newer camera system and third-party apps out there that really do more professional, settings for the photography will probably take advantage of this and allow you to manually override the automatic shutter settings on that. Now, having said that, it'd be great if Apple would in the future come out with a Pro camera setting inside this, because I think now with this type of camera system, the kind of video codecs you can shoot, having 4x optical at 48 megapixels, and then obviously at 8x, which is optical-like because it crops into the sensor, you're really getting fantastic image quality as a photographer, better than we've ever had on any iPhone thus far. And the skin tones and the colors are great. No matter what your ethnicity is, it captures it beautifully. We saw a test as well comparing all the latest smartphones, and I'm talking even smartphones that aren't even available in America, they're exclusively in China. And Apple's skin tones are some of the best out there. It kind of reminds me of Hasselblad. I'm just saying, the Hasselblad Natural Color Solutions, it kind of reminds me of that. I did ask him if there is any sort of camera profile that they were looking to replicate. They wouldn't give me that information. Of course they wouldn't, but that's what it reminded me of because of the accuracy in the skin tones. Now let's talk about video for a second, because video is exciting. In this, you can shoot up to ProRes Raw with the Final Cut Camera 2.0 app, which is gonna be out very, very soon. I was waiting for the testified version for this video. I wasn't able to get it, so I'll be doing a subsequent video to showcase that. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe that it will also work on the front-facing camera, because if we can shoot ProRes log, why not ProRes Raw? Again, that's massive file sizes, probably will need an external drive, but the fact that your smartphone can now do this really brings it up to a much more professional grade filmmaker's tool than ever before. And by the way, I did find something out, which was really cool. That whole Apple keynote was shot on the iPhone 17 Pro series, and it was shot in Open Gate with the Final Cut Camera app, because it can shoot in Open Gate as well. So we've seen other apps kind of play around with Open Gate with the iPhone sensors, with the 16 Pro and Pro Max. Now we're seeing it come into the 17 Pro, Pro Max. And if you shoot Open Gate like I'm shooting right now on the Lumix S1 II, it's great. I can go vertical, landscape. I don't have to worry about losing a lot of information. I love it. And that's going to apply here to the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. So let's talk battery life for a second on this. Look, you're going to hear a variety of different opinions on battery life. And You know, the truth is everybody uses a phone differently. Some people game more than they shoot photos and videos. Some people like myself shoot more photos and videos and they do gaming. I watch a lot of YouTube. I'm on the, browsing on Instagram and TikTok and the web and emails. So I'm on my phone a lot, probably more so than I need to be, but I'm kind of what you would consider a power user. And I can get through a full day and then some with the Pro Max right here. But I will tell you this, there are two separate models out there in the wild. There's gonna be ones that are eSIM only that will have a larger battery than the ones like myself who have a SIM card inside of it. So because of that, they couldn't extend the battery as large as they wanted to be because of that SIM card. So the eSIM people will probably have better battery performance and they'll probably talk about it a little bit more. So just put that as a bit of a disclaimer when you're watching other videos out there that battery life is going to be very, very dependent on a variety of different use cases and also the phone that they're using. So let's talk accessories for a second because Apple's come out with a lot of accessories for this. Again, you got the new tech woven case. By the way, this is the 17 Pro in the blue. I actually like this color a lot. Matches my shirt almost exactly. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of planned. Anyway, here's the body strap to this, which is really nice, and it magnetizes to itself so you don't get any sort of loose strap around there. And what I like about this case, by the way, as I mentioned earlier on the Cosmic Orange one that I have, is that Apple's redesigned it so it's going to be much more durable. Now, the Apple Wallet, that material really hasn't been redesigned. So I have an orange one and it's already starting to show a little bit of dirt. Probably not going to look as pristine as I was hoping it would. Maybe they'll come out with a version of that wallet with this kind of material. That would be very nice. But right now, it's kind of, I believe it's very similar to the older material. So if you want an Apple Wallet from them, then I would say get a darker color so at least it masks the dirt, especially if you wear jeans like myself all the time. But this strap is really nice and you attach it to the case at the bottom of this. By the way, this strap will attach to the clear cases, a variety of different cases from Apple on this. And it's a really nice strap. As a matter of fact, as a camera guy myself, this is small enough that you could actually use this on a camera. You could actually put this on a camera system with those small little eyelets. Yeah, like your Leica camera, that would be great. And that gives you an idea. Kind of hangs to the side like this as you walk around. Now, the one caveat with this, when I see people doing this, I'm thinking, but aren't you worried about scratching your display? Now, Apple, of course, is touting better ceramic shield on this on the front and the back of the phone, so it's not gonna scratch as easily. But I would say if you wanna rock it like this, and you're one that wears like metal belt or jewelry or handbags, whatever have you, you probably wanna get a screen protector just to be safe. But I do have to say, this is a really nice way to walk around with your phone. Pick it up, you got your phone right there. Let's see, I'll walk back here so you can actually see it. Yeah, obviously you could go crossbody like that. You kind of do that, and then you just use that, but yeah, works out pretty well. It's a really cool accessory, and I'm glad Apple's brought something like this. It's very fashionable, very high quality, guys. Extremely high quality. And I'll show you a variety of different colors that I saw over at the Apple event, because I don't have all the colors with me, but yeah, they did a fantastic job with this. But this tech woven case, to me so far, one of my favorite cases Apple's ever made. I just wish the wallet was made of the same material. In terms of the audio quality coming out of this phone, it's very, very good. The speakers are loud. They sound fantastic. I even noticed a difference over my 16 Pro Max. This is a really good set of speakers inside of this. So if you're watching videos or doing a conference call, you're gonna like the audio that comes out of this. It's kind of hard to showcase on here. Let me see if I can just try to do that for you real quick. Let me go to one of my videos here. Beautiful out of this. It's amazing. Look at this body design. Nikon has knocked that out of the park. This is really good. By the way, small rig grip. We've got this. We also got the cage with us. We've got the mic. We're going to show you all that stuff. But yeah, so that gives you an idea of the audio quality. And by the way, the audio is coming from the top of the phone and also the bottom of the phone. With the Air, it only comes out of the top. So just keep that in mind. A little bit of a difference. Just throwing that in there just in case you're wondering. I would say this is a significant evolution to the iPhone 17 series. And the 17, which I think is gonna be the phone for most people out there because in a lot of ways it carries a lot of the pro features of, let's say, the 16 and even the 15 that carries over into the 17. You've got the ProMotion display on that now, which is absolutely awesome. You've got really good cameras, those Fusion cameras, and you got the A19 processor. But the Pro and the Pro Max, for me, when you look at the body design here, right, it looks like a utility device. And I think Apple's designed this in a way to say, look, if you need a filmmaker's phone, you want a tool to capture beautiful video, great photos, and you need the battery life and storage up to 2 terabytes now that you can get onto this. Yeah, it's a pretty penny, but you can get that now. This is a professional filmmaker's tool. Yeah, it can be used for gaming, but ProRes Raw, open gate, 3 48 megapixel cameras, and a front-facing camera that can shoot in ProRes log in landscape or in portrait mode. This is a cinema phone, folks. and this is the 17 Pro Max. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them for you. Look, there's a lot of specs and a lot of things to cover, and I'll be doing subsequent videos on this, but just to kind of give you a hands-on that this phone delivers my favorite iPhone I've used to date. Anyway, guys, with that, take care, stay safe, and I'll chat to you soon.